Hi there and welcome to Darlene's Creative Studio. Today is day 24 and we're working on our Creative Journal Prompt Challenge. Today we're going to be using some washi tape. I have a couple of rolls of washi tape that I've brought along with me, and I'm hoping we can use these in some way today to create. I did cut out these little tiny file folder type things out of some scrap file folder that I had. These are just little pieces, and we decided to, when I can't remember what day it was, way back when, I made these little file folder, and I was just going to make little journaling cards out of them. And I thought, using my washi tape, we could use up some of the scraps in my tray and just try and use up the scraps and make these little file folders and attach them together using some washi tape. And that's the first one I've made. And again, I'm just clearing out my scraps. So let me glue our number 24 in here, and then I will show you what we're working on. Using some washi tape. Oh, I forgot to distress it. That's okay, I can do that after. Create some mini file folders using file folder scraps and washi tape. January 24th, 2020. Okay, let's move this guy out of the way. Put this guy down. So what I did, I grabbed my scrap bin and I sorted it all out, and I took any pieces of scrapbooking cardstock or paper that were fairly large enough, and I made a big pile. I went through and I have some book pages, I have some lined paper left over from certain projects. There is some brown paper there, and then I just kind of put in the corner here anything that was tiny little bits and pieces that I could use for collaging or whatever. I might make a tab out of that one or some of these. And again, I just made a little tab there out of a scrap. And then these little pieces were the centers of my photo frames that I've made with my punch, and these are small enough that you could put a die cut, one of your die cut tabs or something in there, and put it through your die cut and reuse these pieces, so I don't throw those away either. So that was me cleaning out my little tray to kind of see what I had left. And then I have my bag with some of the larger pieces in it as well. So I went through all that, and then these are all just odd sizes of file folder that were left over, and I just cut tabs in the tops and tried to make that there was two, so we could actually put these together and make like a little flip like this. So I've gathered them all together. I went through all my scraps to see if I could find a few things that we could use. So for an example, this was a scrap piece of paper. It was a little bit longer, and I will probably add it to the fronts of this one. So we'll have that, and then one on the back. And then I had all that scrap lined paper, and I've just cut a couple of pieces, and I'm going to add those to the insides so that we can use them for little notebooks. So we can get a paper clip, or you can put this in a pocket, but you could paper clip this onto the top of a page, and then when you open it up, you could actually journal on the inside and still use it for something else. So I've gone ahead and gone through all my scraps and just cut some pieces that will fit onto these pieces. And then I just pulled out some other little bits and pieces of things that I might want to use. These are some a stamp that I put on some of this end paper that is from some of my notebooks, and I had this long piece here, and I just cut a little tiny strip out of it, and that's what I used for putting on the tabs. So I'm just using scraps that I have. These are some of those little magazine covers. I thought maybe we could try those. Some postage stamps, some stickers, and then our washi tape. So those are kind of, and then these are some of the travel stickers as well. So these are just some things that I grabbed that I thought maybe we could use to decorate the little file folders. So let me just move some of the stuff out of the way and we'll get started on the second one. So I'm going to need this guy open and we'll set this little guy aside. So let's work on this one. I'll set my pile here. So this one, and they're just, like I say, all different sizes. I just cut what I had in scraps. So this guy is about 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, so he's almost completely square. And I noticed that they're just a little tiny bit off, so I'm going to trim this guy so that they're pretty much the same, because I want to be able to tape them together. So let me just trim this guy back a bit. Make sure they're even. Okay. And then I'm going to need my little corner rounder, and I'll just round those corners out a little better. There we go. There, that fits a little bit better together. And then all I did was flip them over so that I had one tab on the front and one tab on the back. So I'm just going to take my piece of cardstock here, and I'm going to trim that down just a little bit more. Like that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and punch out the corners. So if this is going to be my front, I'm not going to punch this corner, I'm going to punch the two bottom ones first. And then that top left corner. And then I think I'm going to leave that one square because it goes right up along the tab there. So there's that piece. And then for the back, we're going to have this one. And the same thing, I'm just going to trim it a slight little bit there. And then we're going to round the corners. And I always got to make sure I'm doing it the right way. I don't know how many times I've punched them the wrong way. That's good. This one didn't punch very well, so I'm just going to trim it like that. So I'm going to do that for that side, and that'll be the back. So it'll be, this is what it will look like when it's together. And then on the inside, I'm going to put this lined paper. And these are just scraps that I had left over from where's that one piece? When I was cutting the little booklets for another project, I cut the little booklets from the folded edge, and then this is what was left over. So I have these long pieces for tags, and then I cut across the bottom, and I had these longer pieces that I could use in longer tags. So I'm going to go ahead and put these two together. Because it's such thin paper, I'd like to try and punch them together so that they will punch properly. And we're going to punch that one. And then this one. So we've rounded all our corners, and then these are going to go on the inside like that. So that's what I'm going to be working on, is cutting all these pieces, rounding all the corners, and putting them together. Now the other thing I want to do, and I'm going to do this off camera because I have so many of these and it's going to take me forever, is that I'm going to distress the edges of the file folders first. So I'm going to make sure they're all even, and then I'm going to distress all the edges of my file folders, front and back. And then I'm going to distress the papers that go on the inside. They're all going to get rounded corners, and I'm going to distress the edges of those, and I'm going to glue those in, and then I will work on the fronts by gluing on the front pieces. So what I'm going to do first is turn off the camera, and I'm going to go through all my little file folders and make sure they're nice and even, and then I'm going to distress the edges front and back, and then we'll come back. Okay, welcome back. We have got all of our little folders distressed on both sides. So I went ahead and distressed both sides of those, and I distressed the paper that's going on the inside, and all of these have been glued down. I'm just gluing down this last one. Took me about 25 minutes, but I had to stop and have lunch, so we're just going to get caught up here. So this is the last one here. And I'm just adding the paper to the inside. Like that. Okay. So now when I flip these over, that is going to be the outside and that is going to be the inside. So I'm going to start gluing the fronts onto these file folders. There's a couple of them that I did backwards. When you do too many things at once, it happens. So we're just going to glue that one on there, and this guy on here. There we go. Like that. So there is our back and our front. And we're going to add the bottoms together. So let me just move some of these out of the way, and we'll keep playing. I'll glue these ones off camera, but let me just work on this one as we're working on them. So again, I've taken a piece of that book page and I just cut a little tiny strip out of it, and I can use that on the top here for adding little labels, if you like, on the top. So we can add just a tiny label on the top here. And everything, of course, is going to, you're going to be working with is going to be so little. So let's put a label on there. And then we'll cut another one for the back one. So let's see, maybe about there. That's good. And that one's not very straight. So I'm adding a little label onto there. So there we go. There's our labels. And then we're going to select our washi tape. We can use this one, which I may because I like the tones and colors of this one. I have this one that's little postage stamps. And then I have this thicker one. It's actually got sticker paper on the back, and I would probably cut that in half because it's so large. I'm going to use this one first. Let's try this one first, because it's a smaller one. And again, I'm just going to tear it off. And I'm just going to move this guy out of the way. And we just need a little bit on the top of this side. There. And then I'm going to put my two pieces together and line them up. And I'm going to flip it over and just pull the washi tape over to the other side. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and cut off the ends. Like that. And like that. There. And then I'm going to open up to the inside, and I'm going to put another piece on the inside as well, just to keep it fairly sturdy. And this is more of the masking tape washi than the stuff you get at the dollar store. This is something I bought online. And then you're just going to close it up, and you're going to trim it again. And that one's already good. So there is our little file folder. And then sometimes I just take an extra piece. If I'm using the washi on the bottom, I'll just take an extra piece like this and tear it and maybe put it across the top here just to bring those two pieces in together. Let's add a little piece on the back. And I'll put that one on the side like that. And then just kind of play around to see if there's something that maybe you can put on the front. There's the Saturday Evening Post. These are some of those kind of funky stickers we can put on a travel sticker. And then maybe the Saturday Evening Post over top. We can use these little stickers. Let's see what this one looks like if I pull it off. We can put that one there and then this on the top like that. So let's try that. Let's add our little bus ticket. Just put it on a jaunty angle. We add our little tag here. You can flip that over and let's add a circle and maybe one of these little squares. And a little tag. There. So there's another one done. And then I just take my micron pen and I just wrote notes on the top. This could be for, let's do memo. There we go. So there's another one. So let's glue this guy on to here. Now this is one of the ones that I got a little bit mixed up with the front cover and I had to round all the corners because my square corner wasn't lining up for where it was supposed to be. Just got it all mixed up. So we got that one. And let's add this one. Like that. So there's our front and back. We can add our little pieces of a label. That one can go there. And we'll add this one here. And it just finishes off that little tab by putting something up there. You don't have to put something on the back one, but I just like the look of it. There we go. And now for this one, we can use the darker one. I don't really like that darker one. I think I'll use that for something else. We can use that one or we can try this one. Let's try this one. So I'm going to cut her off right about there. And now we're not going to need something this thick, so I'm going to cut this one in half. Because we will definitely not need that thickness. It's on my sticky. All right, let's cut this guy in half. Let's see how that looks on there. And again, I'm just going to move it out of the way and pull it down to about there. Oops, it didn't stick. Like that. Then we put these two together and line them up. Like so. Make sure they're lined up. And then I'm just going to bend that one over and place it on the back. Like that. We're going to round out our corners. Did it come off? Yes, it did. Like that. So there's that one, and then we'll place a little piece inside here, like that. And you can even make it a little shorter if you don't want it to take up as much of your writing room there. Let's say, maybe make it this wide. And this is just to reinforce that inside seam. So we'll just place that right there. Make sure it's nice and stuck down there, and then fold it. Oh, I might have to glue this one. This is a different kind of tape. It feels almost like a sticker. Oop, that went flying. There we go. I'm just going to glue that down a little bit because I am finding it's not sticking as well as I had hoped. There we go. That side seems to be sticking. Maybe it's because it was just the first piece of tape. Okay, we're not going to use that one again. Okay, so that's taped down or glued down. And it seems to be holding on the inside. But anyway, okay. So now this one has got its labels. Now we need to decorate the front. We can use, let's use a postage stamp maybe. I'll just pull some of these guys out. We can use something like that. That one's nice. And maybe use a little piece of this off the top here, just to bring that color up to the top. Let's see. And I'm going to glue this on. I'm not going to just stick it on. Let's see if I can peel it. There it goes. Me and stickers. Just do not get along. There. So if I put this across here, maybe there, and then maybe have that kind of sitting below it. I like that. There we go. Like that. Let's do something on the back and use that other piece of scrap. And then what else can we use? I'm going to save that one for, well, that's a nice big one. Look at that. Let's put that one on. Right there. And then we can use our postage stamps. and just do like a little like that, and some wavy lines. I don't think I can restamp that one, but we'll try. What the heck? No, I won't. I don't want to ruin it, but we can put it on the front there. And then our lines. And just kind of bring it up to date. There we go. Move those out of the way. And this can be called what? You've got memos, notes. How about mail? There's mail. Let's move these out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue the rest of the covers on. All right, so we've got all our fronts glued on. We've put our little labels on there. So these are the 4 remaining. I'm going to try this washi tape for this one. Let's see how that works. See if it's any stickier than the other. Put that on there like that. And then we're going to flip it around to the back. And we're just going to make sure that's even. It's hard to see in this light. There we go. Okay, and then we're just going to flip that up and glue that, or tape that to the other side and give it a good rub around our corners. There we go. Where it went. And then I'm going to add a little piece to the inside. There. And I'm just going to crease that closed, and we'll round our corners again. There we go. Take that off. So there's our other one. This one has like little postage stamps on it. And this was the end piece, so I'm just going to trim this. We can stick him on the back here. There's a little postage stamp. Now we can add, I really like these postage stamps, but I'm going to try something else. Let's see if we can use one of these. I think I'm going to use that for the longer one. And this guy's just too big now. Okay, so we'll go back to the postage stamp. Put that one on there. Let's put it on a little angle, and then we do have some different colored bus tickets. We can use a pink one, a purple one. He kind of disappears, doesn't he? The white one, the brown one. I like the brown one, and I'm going to just grab a hold of this edge of the stamp and peel it back up. And just put that one on there, and then push our stamp back down. Put a little bit of glue on the corner here. There we go. There's another one. There. There's that one done. There's that piece of tape I was looking for. All right. For this guy, I'm going to get that in there. I think I'll use the darker tape because it just kind of suits it. So let's rip it off maybe there. And I'm just going to put it on the center of my card. Flip it over to the back and put this guy on. And then bend it over. Make sure that's nice and tight. Cut off the excess. And then we will add a little piece to the center. Oops. Like that. And we'll just put him right in the middle. And do like a little crease there. Fold it over. And again, whoops, cut off the excess here. There we go. And then I'm going to grab that tape again, and I'm just going to maybe use one or two of the little stamps from this. I'll stick one on the back here. There we go. And then that glue all over me. Just look for a really neat. There's the world. Oh, what about this one? Ah, there's one. Looks like a guy at a gas station. Oh, there's some books. So let's glue this guy on here. I like that one. And we need one for the back. And that one's just a little too pink. Travel, maybe orange, too orange. What's this one? It's an army tank. We don't want that one. Oh, how about this one? It's a little car. Nice and bright, add some color to the back there. I like that. Let's get our line stamp. Put that through there, that looks good. And that way. There we go. Put this guy back on here. And this one we'll call, oops, I didn't put any labels on this one. I'm going to call this one doo-doo. This guy needs some labels on him. I know, today. We need a little piece for him. Sticking to things that go me. So we just need a little tiny label. I'm just going to cut this one down a bit. It's a little too wide. Still too wide. So we need a little label here. I'm going to glue that guy on. Let go. Okay, so that one's done. And I'm just going to put notes on this one too. There's notes. Now, these two. This one I think I'm going to put the label on there because we can get away with that one. And maybe something a little more frou-frou-y. A little china dish. I'm going to put that one up nice and high because we still have to put our tape on this one, and I'm going to use this tape here. For this one. Flip it around and put our back on, and then just roll that over. So again, this is just using things that I've brought with me. There are so many different things that you can add to these little file folders with some of the papers and images that you have on hand. I just like to try and reuse scraps. I love to recycle, so reusing up something and making something out of it just seems so much better than throwing it away. When you've gone ahead and bought all these file folders, try and use every bit of them if you can. There we go. And we'll fold that one up and just give it a light trim. I don't think it needs too much trimming. Like that. And we can even add a little piece of this tape on there just to bring it up to the front. Let's put it up this way. There, and I'm going to add that on there, but I'm going to distress the edges of this stamp just because it's awfully creamy. Let's distress that out just a tiny bit. And then we'll glue that one on there. Right about there. So we've got that on there, and then on the back I will add another piece of this little tape. If I can get it going here. Let's put it up near the top. And then we'll put that other little plate stamp there. That can go on there. And let's stamp that guy. Like that. And like that. And there's another one. Let that dry a little bit. And what can we use this guy for? We've got some goals there. And then the last one, we will do this little guy. And again, I'm not sure which tape to use, either this brown one or I'm going to use the postage stamps. I think that's probably the best one to use. And we're just going to set that on there. Add our back. I'm just going to be around that corner. There we go. And we just want to bring that guy up over to the back and tape him on. There we go. And I was hoping I could use one of these little guys on here. But they're just all so big. What about a pretty little bird sticker? He's kind of big, but I like him. That one's pretty too. We got a butterfly. He's too brown. Now a chickadee. My goodness, these are the biggest stamps I've ever seen. That one's pretty. All right, so we can do that, or we can do this little bluebird on there. And maybe put a couple of those little stamps on there as well. I think I'm going to do that for just for the, actually just do it on the back because it's plain. There we go. That one's fine. We don't need too much on this one. I was thinking of just a tiny little one, but I don't have any that are really the color I'm looking for. So I think I'm just going to use the stamps from the little roll. Although he is pretty. Where did I put my little roll here? Actually, maybe we'll just do 2 or 3. And you know if these are upside right, you can't tell. Like that. And then him there, yeah. Let's just do it. It's the last one. All right. Done. So there we go. There is our last one. Move those guys out of the way. Move him out of the way. Now our postage stamps here. So there are our little file folders, and we've used our washi tape to join them together. And we just have to add something on here. Thoughts. And there you go. There are a couple of our, oh, we didn't put tape in the inside. Good thing I looked. There we go. Fold that over. Trim him out. And we're all done. So there are our little file folders done with all kinds of scraps, scrap pieces of file folders, scrapbooking paper, stamps, washi tape, and you can stick them, like I say, on the top of a book page with a paper clip, or they can just sit inside of a little pocket. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow. We're almost at the end.